GTFO is a game that I've talked about a number of times on the YouTube channel, and I wanted to give you guys some of my thoughts about GTFO. You guys know that I thought that this game is really well done. I love some of the concepts it has. I think it's a pretty terrifying experience at times, and I think that there's so much more that this game could be. But the developers have been they've been very forthright in stating kind of their plans for the future of this game. And I wanted to just kind of talk about it because, look, guys, GTFO, if you haven't played it before, I would highly recommend giving it a try because it's a really great co-op experience. But here's the problem, is it's basically only a co-op experience. There's nothing else to it. There's no real campaign mode. There's not not really a multiplayer mode or anything of that sort. This game reminds me a lot of like a kind of a spin-off of Left 4 Dead, but a game that doesn't have nearly as much to do within it. So what I mean by that is it doesn't have any multiplayer modes. It has no real story necessarily, even though you're kind of you're as a co-op experience, you're kind of playing somewhat of a story mode of this game. But I mean a fully fleshed out story mode where you go into this thing and there's an actual story there and some actual multiplayer experiences, at least multiplayer experiences, because this reminds me, like I said, of Left 4 Dead, where you should be able to play by yourself or play with, your friends and go up against waves of enemies or, I think, guys, this could be a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead. But why it isn't a spiritual successor to Left 4 Dead is quite simple. Because the developers are adamant about not making this a multiplayer or really a story-driven experience. They want it to be specific to co-op play. And I get the idea of it. I get that they want to redefine co-op experiences, but I just don't think that a game like this should be specific to one specific mode. It needs to have a few different modes that people come back and continue wanting to try out the experience. Left 4 Dead, it reminds me, like I said, of Left 4 Dead in a number of ways, but it reminds me of Left 4 Dead, but just kind of a portion, only like a percentage of what Left 4 Dead was as an entire experience. I want GTFO to become a fully fleshed out experience. And I think this is what's going to need to happen. In order for that to happen, guys, and I get it, the developers of GTFO are a small team. It's a small team of like 11 guys or something like that. It's a pretty small team. I get it. But if we want change in a game like GTFO that is a small team of people that is trying to kind of really focus on one particular thing, and we want other things other than what they're trying to do, we have to be the ones voicing our opinion on that. So this is why I wanted to go ahead and kind of just voice my opinion on it, why I believe that GTFO is a couple of steps away from being an incredible experience. If you added some multiplayer modes, you added a really fleshed out story, as well as this co-op experience that you're consistently updating, because they have been behind with updating this game as well. I really think there's something special with GTFO. They just got to, in my opinion, really offer more to the experience. When you buy a game, you want to have a full package. You don't just want to have one specific mode, and that's what you have to stick to. Now, multiplayer experiences, that's a little bit different. Like with Fortnite and other games like that, it's only really a multiplayer experience, but you're okay with that because it's free to play, number one. And number two, it's multiplayer. It keeps people coming back. Co-op doesn't necessarily bring you back unless there's a ton of new content all the time that you can play with your friends. When it's only one, there's only like specific chapters that you have, and then after those chapters are done, that's the end of the experience, and you have to wait for updates to come out, you're just going to move over to another game. I think what you need is a multiplayer experience that's going to bring people consistently back, or at least other modes like a horde mode, kind of like what Gears of War has, where you're playing waves and waves of enemies, or whatever it might be. We've got to be the ones voicing our opinion to this. And I'm going to state that GTFO needs a multiplayer mode, in my personal opinion. I know they've said and they don't want to do that. They want to be specific to co-op, but I just think that this game could be really something special and be a lot bigger if you had a multiplayer experience with the game. So that would just be that's my 2 cents on it. I would love to hear your guys' opinions on this in the comment section below. What do you guys want to see out of GTFO as far as a fully fledged experience, or do you like where they're at currently? What do you guys think? And for more GTFO content and videos, stay here with Zero TV.